the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening. This is Moments of Clarity. My name is Tiffany Werner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And we are going to have a great show today. And we are Zoom and from home, still maintaining social distancing, but still going on live radio with the help of technology and with the help of a couple of people behind the scenes, Ryan Moulton, who's hidden, but going to be doing the special effects. Got to give him some props. And of course, Big Ed at the radio station. Hi, Ed.
Howdy, howdy. Happy Thursday.
I was going to say, are you going to say happy Thursday?
Yeah,
you always tell me what day it is. Thanks to you, I remember what day it is. If it wasn't for you, I would. I'm going to
trip you up one day and say Friday and see if you correct me or not.
I don't know. Remember that one time I said Happy Halloween and it was Thanksgiving.
Then you get up the next. Then you'll get up the next day thinking it's Saturday.
Yeah, that wouldn't be anything different. It's like sometimes all these days, because of course to be honest, going in the studio kind of helped my week break up a little bit. So I really miss it. I'm looking forward to things being safe again, you know. But thanks for all you do. And I know you have your Clorox wipes. And thanks to me, you don't have to clean the studio now for the next hour.
Still gets done.
Yeah, I know. I understand. So thanks for all you do, Ed, and for everything. So today we're going to be discussing, and it's one of our sponsors from Forever Forward Financial. And there's things that come up, and it's not just financial planning, and I don't want to keep talking financial stuff. And if you're like me, you're probably like, "Ooh, financial planning, oh my gosh." And if you're not like me, that means you're responsible and you have a lot of money in the bank. No, but so I'm trying to learn not only that, but we want to tie this into mental health. And so I spoke with Scott, and he has agreed to allow me to kind of expose, what is it like when we hit life problems, and when we hit life problems such as unexpected things like divorce, marriage, death, someone without life insurance, things like that. We have to know what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do, but I do know that Scott has also worked with the mental health community for years, as well as doing this. So he understands mental health. He understands what it's like to be financially unstable. And he's also very respectful to the mental health community. So I appreciate him on all of those levels. And I want to welcome to Moments of Clarity, the founder of Forever Forward Financial, Scott Bigley. And thanks for being
Tiffany.
here.
It's great to be with you. Oh, it's always my pleasure and my honor to be with you. Thank you so much.
Same here. And thanks for all you do for Moments of Clarity as well.
Not a problem.
And for everyone, I know that you're always worrying about people not knowing what you know, and cutting themselves into a sticky situation, And so I want to kind of dig into the past and get on the journey about. I know that you've done with mental health, and we've talked about things where you're very passionate on helping people really recognize the importance of financial planning just in case there's a crisis. And do you want to talk about your journey a little bit? Do you mind?
Sure. Yeah. And good morning, everyone. On YouTube, on Facebook, on all the other social media platforms.
Especially those listening in the radio.
You're right. And to our radio audience, welcome and thanks for taking some time with us today. Tiffany, yeah, and you're right. We spend a lot of time, you and I, not only personally, but when we do this, talking about, the financial issues that we all face. But, that's just kind of, the umbrella of what I've learned through my journey, that preparing for life's ups and downs really can help us move through it. I've been greatly blessed in my 60 years. I know it's hard to believe that I'm 60 years old.
I know.
Really,
I thought you were 70.
It's hard to believe. I know. Exactly. I know.
Totally kidding.
Well,
you definitely look great for your age. I was just totally kidding.
I know you were.
I'm sorry. We've known each other too long, and you've got this.
Yes.
You've got this sarcastic personality that just kind of like makes it eggs it on for me.
brings out the worst in you. I know.
A little bit.
But even though I've been greatly blessed and I've had a tremendous life, it may be hard to believe. I've gone through some traumatic issues that were not financial issues, but more spiritual, emotional, personal, mental. But I think one of the things that helped me move through some of those was that because of what I do professionally, I understand that you need to kind of prepare for, not that you can prepare for everything, and I'm not saying that we all should be worst case scenario planners, but if you kind of have a background or a foundation of having a plan in place, and when you are faced with a crisis, that kind of kicks in naturally. Most recently,
especially the pandemic and everything, but there's a lot.
Right.
There's a lot of clients.
That actually came into this. I mean, think about the pandemic. It literally kind of sprung on us overnight. And
but there's a lot of people that were going through other things very seriously, even when that struck. So it was like a double whammy. Right.
And how do you prepare for a pandemic? You really can't. But for me, the thought that I'd like to share is that if you kind of look at everything from a situation of, okay, let's not focus on the problem, or when I say that, I don't mean you forget your problems. It's like, okay, we understand what the issue is. What's the resolution? For me personally, a little over a year ago, I was hit with a big whammy. I went through a divorce from my now ex-wife of 30 plus years. Totally out of the blue. Now, that's something that you don't plan for,
At 60 years old, too?
Yeah, at 50, 58, 59, 60 years old, you're faced with what I think we all can agree is a huge life-changing event.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, and thanks for sharing.
Not at all.
You weren't prepared for it?
Not really, no. Like most marriages, there were good days, there were bad days. But something like that just really was the old phrase, out of the blue. And you find yourself,
wow,
going through all the natural spiritual, emotional, and mental turmoil of what did I do, what didn't I do, what should have I done, what could I have done better, so on and so forth. But the reality of it is since I come from a background of preparation and planning, that's and it sounds weird, I get it, or hard to believe, but as tough as it was personally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because I've been doing it my whole life, the process was made easier because we were both able to sit down and say, okay, here's the issue. What's the resolution? How do we move forward from this so your life can move forever forward? My life can move forever forward. And we both are able to continue on our journeys in life. That foundation is kind of what I'm seeing isn't there with the people that I'm working with, especially now that the pandemic has hit. As I'm meeting with people, what am I hearing? man, Scott, we never expect, how do you react to something like this? Well, the answer is you don't react to it. It's too late to react to it. It's here. The question now becomes is how do you proactively move towards resolution? What should we be thinking about as we move through this? That's, and thankfully, that's what my ex-wife and I were able to do. We handled it like adults. We realized that, for lack of a better term, our marriage had kind of run its course. And it's not that, we hated each other. We couldn't stand each other. It's not like we woke up in the morning and started throwing knives at each other. It just that it had moved its course. So as painful as it was, again, we both were able to sit down and say, so how do we resolve this? That will move us both forever forward through it, and will move us both forever forward on now what has become our own individual journeys. But we have a couple of girls. Now my girls are older, and doing their own deal, but maintaining a sense of family in a whole new situation, which is really kind of what we're going through in this pandemic. You and I normally sit 3 feet across the table from each other, and Ed's on the other side of the glass. Now we're having to learn how to not react, but okay, here's the issue. We can't be across the table from each other. So what are some of the resolutions? So we work with guys like Ryan that no one can see or hear. We work with guys like Ed.
Individual angels. But there's still people going in the studio and not maintaining social distancing. I just don't choose to be one of them.
And that's their choice and their decision, and that's part of it. But for me, from the personal standpoint or the personal perspective, as hard as my divorce was and still is, it's still an ongoing process.
Yeah, especially when you don't see it coming. Yeah. Did you guys go to counseling too? First and foremost, this is mental health.
Yeah, we did, and we sought some help. We sought some assistance. We both agreed that, maybe it's not a bad idea to have a third-party objective observer kind of give us some ideas. And as painful as that process was, it helped us move towards that resolution and kind of make the plan. And through that process, and I hope I don't wish it on anybody, what we discovered is, our marriage had kind of run its course. I look back on my marriage fondly. We have 2 great daughters, both successful. We had a great life together. We accomplished a whole lot of very great things together as a couple, as a family, as a husband, as a wife, all of that. We accomplished great things. One of the things that I said in therapy as we kind of, as it kind of came down through the funnel that, it's probably best that you both move on. I was asked, how do you see yourself moving forward? What thought might you have? And I looked at the individual that we were working with, and I said, my ex-wife is a huge Barbra Streisand fan. And I said, one of her favorite movies is The Way We Were. I said, I think I'm going to choose to move forward, as the song says, the song Memory says, and it's the laughter I will remember whenever I remember the way we were. That, I think, has helped me, because again, it wasn't always roses and, chilled glasses of whatever. We moved through some very difficult times together as a couple. But when I look back on that relationship, it's the laughter that I remember whenever I remember the way we were as a husband, as a wife, as a family. And that's what I try to remind not only her, but my daughters. As hard as this has been, the good times have far outweighed the difficult times, the tough times. So
the way we were once financially stable. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and again, we were blessed in that way. We were both, she's very successful, very good at what she does. So yeah, we were blessed financially also.
Yeah. Well, then that's probably made it easier too, right?
Well, in some ways it's made it's made it easier. But when you're going through, and those of us that have been through this process will understand, whether you have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money or you're anywhere in between, when you're separating, you have to divide assets. What's yours,